Hey again everyone, and welcome back to the channel for the next installment in our new figure showcase series. And if you're new to the channel, this is the series where I basically take a look at a newer figure that I'm adding into the collection. Now most of the time that will be a more recent release, but there have been exceptions where I do back collect a little bit. And I also do want to just say, I know I did take a little bit of a break. Life just got a little crazy, but we're back, and we've got a couple of reviews dropping. So for today's installment, we're going to be taking a look at the Caine figure by Hot Toys in 6-scale format from John Wick Chapter 4. So, interesting release overall. I love the John Wick series, although I do have to say I think the fourth film in the series was probably my least favorite, with the second one, the first one, and the third one being ranked pretty highly. I think, for example, just the constant fight up the stairs. While I'm a big action fan, it started getting a little repetitive with John having to roll down the stairs over and over. But I will say I did like the addition of Caine. I thought that was a very interesting character choice, played by the great, iconic Donnie Yen. So it's not the first time Hot Toys has done this figure. We've gotten his version of Chirrut from Star Wars Rogue One, so Hot Toys is familiar with the sculpt overall. But I will preface again everything by saying, maybe not the most exciting of releases, in the sense that he is a very simple figure. Now, Hot Toys does make up for that a little bit when we look at the overall package with the amount of accessories they're including. Although it's a little deceptive at first, right? Obviously, you're getting a ton of hands, which makes sense given the accessories and the weaponry. Then you're getting multiple pistols, including the dual pistol that he uses at the end with John. And then you do get his cane, which is a little bit interesting, and we're going to get into that a little bit, because you do get two versions of it. You get the full cane, and then you get the one with the sword element itself. And then you get a couple of coins, which they're always nice, but I don't know that you're going to use them other than for a display piece. But now let's get into the accessories a little bit more in depth, and we'll start with the hands. And as you can see, you get a huge variety of them. Now, some of them are pre-posed just to create splayed out finger poses for martial arts looks, and the others are basically set so that you can hold all the multiple accessories, the weapons, the axe, the sword. So done very well. The paint apps on these are phenomenal. The fingers, and particularly the nails, include a little bit of a line where the nail meets the skin. So I do appreciate the effort that Hot Toys put into these, and his right hand does include his ring, so that's a nice touch as well. Now you also get a stack of coins, which, if you're familiar with the John Wick series, is the currency that these assassins use with each other. And just like with the John Wick from John Wick Chapter 2, you get a stack of them, and then you get a few individual coins. Again, more for a display purpose, and they're fine, but not anything crazy that stands out. And then, of course, this being Caine, who is a blind character, you do get a pair of sunglasses. And I do like these, right? They're aviators with a very distinct set of legs on them that have a black paint app that kind of juxtaposes with the nice gold trim along the edges and the frame of the glasses. So very nicely done. And then you get these, I forget what these were. I think they're sort of sensors that Caine puts around in rooms so that he can be alerted of things happening. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched the movie in a while, but they're nicely done, and you do get two of these as well. Now, jumping into the weaponry, the first one we're going to look at is you do get an axe, which is very simple, but it's nicely done, particularly with the axe head itself. That does include a very fine, refined edge along the blade that has a nice silver paint app that kind of juxtaposes nicely with the black wash for the rest of the axe itself. And now next up, we do get into his sword, which we see him deploy multiple times in the movie. Now you get the cane itself, which does include a removable handle, but you do get the sword as a separate piece. And it's interesting because usually you'll see Hot Toys or some other companies actually allow you to put the sword within the cane itself and remove the entire contraption. Here, for whatever reason, Hot Toys ended up not doing that, so you do get a cane and the sword separately. Very curious why they chose to do that here. Now, the next weapon is that ceremonial dual pistol. It does include a very nice set of paint apps with the ornate metal pieces over the trigger, and then you do get the body, the handle and the body grip with this sword, with this wood texture. And it does open to reveal a single bullet within. So very nicely done as well. And the highlight, I think, for me with this character are the 3 different guns that you get. Now, they're all basically made from the same manufacturer that made the pistols for the movie. So we've seen these with, or we've seen versions of these pistols with the John Wick from Chapter 2. They're all extremely well done. The detail work on these is phenomenal, with the text on the slide, and then the combination of silver and gold for multiple of these, and the sight, the laser sight, and the forward mounted piece on one of them as well. They're very nicely done and very well detailed. If there's one thing that I can give credit to Hot Toys about doing with this series of figures, is that they put a lot of effort into the guns, and these do compare very positively with more military style figures that really impress with these details. Now let's jump into the figure itself, and we're going to start with the sculpt, and we're going to start with the sculpt without the glasses, because I think, first of all, the likeness is incredible. Now again, this is a blind character that Donnie Yen is playing, and one of the highlights, I think, of this sculpt is the paint application on the eyes, where you do see the kind of clouded vision and clouded retina, and you also see the detail of cuts at each of his eyes, where there's clearly a story there of how he lost his vision. But the likeness is phenomenal. The paint app work on these, again, it's really well done. There's a lot of detail, from subtle wrinkles on his forehead to just the look around his mouth, and the hair. While it seems very simple, it's sculpted really nicely. So I do have to give Hot Toys a lot of credit for what they were able to do here, because this is one of their best likenesses that I think we've seen, and Hot Toys has been knocking it out of the park. Now the rest of the figure, again, this is where the more basic release comes in, because it is a guy in a suit, and not even a suit like John Wick has with the vest, the shirt, and the tie. He's literally a guy in a suit jacket, dress pants, cowboy boots, and then a white turtleneck. Having said that, the fit of the clothes is pretty well. The jacket does have some subtle wiring on the underside of it, on the bottom, that does let you achieve some posability. And because the clothes aren't restrictive, you do get a decent range of posing with him, where nothing is very restrictive. The only thing that is a little restrictive on the feet are the ankles. Given the design of the boots themselves, you don't get much pivot on them, and again, I didn't want to push it necessarily. So again, as we look at some poses for the figure, without a doubt, this is a figure that's going to appeal to people that like the movie and the John Wick series overall, because while he's a stunning release, it's not an immediate eye-catching one, or at least for me it is. But I think when you compare this to other offerings in the market, the other things are immediately going to jump out to you just based on the colors, based on the accessories, and for example, superheroes, or even Star Wars with the lightsabers, the very colorful suits. I think that's going to be a little bit more appealing to you. But don't sleep on this figure. From a sculpt perspective, from a posability perspective, from an accessory perspective with the weaponry, he really does stand out, and you can achieve some very nice poses with him that bring back memories from the movie. And again, I think if you're a fan of the movie, Caine was a great addition as a character. And the only other character that I'd love to see from the movie series would have actually been oh my god, I'm forgetting her name, the Halle Berry character from John Wick 3 with the dogs. Now, nothing is perfect. While this is a great release, I did have an issue where I did have a broken peg, because they are a little bit stuck in the hands, which is usually a good thing. But yeah, mine broke, although I was able to finally pry it out of the hands. And again, Hot Toys does give you spare wrist pegs, so that is a huge positive here. But that was probably the worst thing that happened, and at one point I did think I was going to be stuck with this, trying to drill out the the pieces that remained in the hand, but I was able to pry them out with a little warm water and some needle nose pliers. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the hand swaps on these. But look, overall thoughts on this guy. For a very simple figure, I say this all the time, simple figures are the ones that Hot Toys should get right, and there's nothing to basically hide behind. So I do appreciate it when Hot Toys knocks it out of the park like they did with this one. So great release in my mind. Very excited to get the John Wick to accompany him from the from John Wick 4. But if you're interested in an action guy with some weaponry, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. So again, pretty happy with the pickup and a really, really solid release overall by Hot Toys. So let me know your thoughts on this one, and as always, thanks for watching. And if you're enjoying the content, please consider dropping a like, comment, or subscribing, and we'll touch base on the next video.